Okay, so whatever. Zoom is not supported in this mode. Ah, oh yeah. I'm Lady of Love, and this is Love and Light Tarot. Where we like to enliven the mind, where practicality meets spirituality. Hey, you guys, just coming to put out this reading, this dream that I had, and doing a reading behind it. I just wanted to hop on and share this because it took me a few days to process this dream. It happened to have one of my children in it. It was a very strong dream and a very prophetic dream all at once. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go into the dream and kind of explain what I took the interpretation to mean. And please feel free to take the interpretation to whatever level you please. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Okay? So, me and my children had just moved into a new house. And in this house, there were many rooms, okay? It was a room, what you would call a fixer-upper, right? And there was many rooms, big, beautiful house, probably about 4 or 5 bedrooms. And some of the rooms were connected. Some of them weren't. Also, I had trouble finding the kitchen. Once I located the kitchen, it was kind of on one of those little slope. I don't know why there was a slope, so many slopes in this house, but there were, there was a slope into the kitchen, and the dining room was in the kitchen, and it looked like a nice little country kitchen, kind of closed off, weirdly enough, with no windows. Okay, so then my daughter calls me, look, Mom, finally found the bathroom, because for some reason it seems like the house was so big we couldn't find a bathroom. So we found the bathroom. In the bathroom there were like stalls, shower stalls, and it was so weird because I was like, man, I sure hope there's a bathtub. And there didn't seem to be one, in the house. And as I was, looking, we finally found a room, but it was more like a jacuzzi, and it had the tile and the walls were floor and the walls were tile, excuse me. And, then we ventured off into another part of the bathroom, which turned into a little room. Okay, now this is where the dream took significance for me, and I'm sure that if you find any significance in the rest of the dream, that you can self-interpret. But, my children somehow in the dream had gotten their swimsuits on, as had I. As we were searching, this room, we were looking, and this little room had a glass window, and it looked off into a public pool area. So it seems that this house wasn't just a house, but it was a house connected with other people's homes, and we shared this public pool area. But the little area we ended up in was like the pool testing area. So, there's this little square hole in the floor, that led out into the pool area. It was a deep well, and it went out into the pool area. And so, my littlest, who is 7 years old, was just playing around the pool, very upset. Mom, I want to go in. Mom, I want to go in. And at this point, I was warning her, it's not clean yet. The water's kind of cloudy. We're just like everyone else. And at this point, there are people straggling in, to the sides of the pool, sitting, waiting. And she just, Scorpio child, a water sign, just became very impatient. Oh, I want to go in. And she was kind of, her little attitude that she usually gets with me, she kind of got an attitude, and she was like, in this dream, she was like, I want to go in the pool. And I was telling her, no, just sit down. You sit down somewhere and wait, or else you're not going to go swimming. It's dangerous. You have to wait for the water to be clean. She had on a life jacket. So at this point, she went around me, behind me, and came over to this part where the pool was. Now, for some reason, it seems like the glass window was this way, but the pool it was like a little hole, a little square hole. And then just above that hole was the glass window. And so she didn't look down in the hole to see that it was the bottom of the pool down there. And again, that water little hole part was cloudy. Not completely murky, just cloudy. And so she stepped off into the pool thinking that she would just step to a low part of the pool, kind of stop and then sit down. She did not. When she stepped into the pool, she sunk. You know, her life jacket flew off because of the pressure with which she hit the water. Her jacket flew off and she kind of slipped right out of it. I don't know if it was too big for her. Her life jacket was too big for her. Whether she hadn't had it connected or fastened. At that point, as a mom, my brain was like, get in the water and save my child. So I went to jump into the square, but realized that that's testing part. Somebody like me, my size couldn't fit it. So I panic. I'm panicking the entire time. And I run around through what is a door in this glass wall. Kind of like when you go to the hotel and you come up to the glass door. I open the door and I run to the pool, only to find that I met her eyes, her gaze, and she was swimming to the top, back to the top of the water. I could see her eyes, and it made me freeze. And I was watching her, my child, here's the prophetic, with no swimming lessons, doesn't know how to swim, no knowledge no prior experience, like just can't swim, no training, swimming, kicking her feet and her hands, coming towards me, eyes wide open, holding her breath. She did not only come to where I was, she went back to the square pool. And I ran back around, and I'm panicking. And I grabbed her and pulled her up. And I'm smiling at her. And she looking at me, going, Mama, I almost died. I almost drowned. I told her, no, you didn't. You saved your own life. And at that point, she smiled and said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And at some point, we ended up in the public area sitting down. And I was ready to go home at that point. And she was just like, no, I want to stay. I'm okay. I'm fine. She wanted to jump back in that pool and see if she could swim again. Because once she had realized that she could save herself, she wanted to go through it again. Because she knew that she would be okay. And so, guys, here's the revelation part. Whatever situation that has you, and the house for me is your mind, okay? There were so many rooms and so many situations, and I noticed on the floor there was fleas, just parts of the house that needed repair. It was kind of old and dilapidated, And so in your mind, you may feel like you need a refreshing. You might feel like you need an overhaul. Okay, you need to change your way of thinking. You need to change how you see things, how you view things. Okay, everything might not be, up there like you think it should be. Change your old way of thinking. Look at things and see new possibilities. As I was walking through the house, I could see, in my head I was going, I want to change this. I'm going to do this. I want to do that. So you may be planning things, even though everything in your life kind of looks, I'm speaking to myself also, may not look like you want it to look. But the fact that you're moving in your mind, those things are going to manifest. You understand? And there may not be time for you to stop and take a bath. Now, in my dream, I was like, man, is there a bath? I need a bathtub so I can sit and soak and relax. But you're going to want to wash all that thinking away, okay? You're going to want to let your emotions filter through your mind to process each and everything that you're going to go through in this next stage, are going through or have gone through, okay? Moving on to the next phase. When you're walking into this private room with this square box and you notice that water's murky, that's just, the pool person would normally come in and be testing the water, and I think at that point it's time for you to get out there and test the waters a little bit. Like my daughter was so adamant, that she just could hop right in the water. I just want to go swimming. I want to go swimming. She wanted to go on the shallow end. So when she stepped out from that pool, she thought it was shallow. And see, here is you stepping off into some things that you think you can't accomplish, and you really can. There are some things that you're going to tackle that when you jump into those things, you may feel like, what have I gotten myself into? You may feel like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. You may feel like the situation is about to overtake you, but you would be wrong. See, because the thing for me that saved my daughter was her sheer will to live. Was her craving in her mind for her next breath. So even when she hit rock bottom, the pool was rock. Even when she hit the bottom of the pool, she pushed herself up and began to float back to the top, kicking and swimming with her eyes wide open. The pool, your pool is your emotions. Water is your emotions. Concrete, okay, your emotions are all bottled up, okay? And you may have fallen so deep into a depression or a mental state of anxiety or being scared of something that you think you can accomplish. For me, it's getting in front of you guys, like I am now, but I'm learning to get over that. And you hit rock bottom and there's nowhere to go but up from there, right? So no matter what situation it is that you're in emotionally, you can bring yourself back from it. No matter what situation that you've fallen into that you think that you can't get out of, you most certainly can. All you have to do is push yourself up. If you've hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. So go ahead and prepare yourself. Push yourself back up and don't stop until you reach the top so you can take your next breath. Can you imagine what it must have been like for my daughter when she reached the top of that pool and breathed and there was someone there to pull her up and remind her that she saved herself? It's not that, God can't save you. God created you. You are the person who needs to make right decisions in your life that propel you into a new place. You are the person who can pull you out of the sadness, sick, mindset that makes you feel like you're drowning. You're not drowning. It's just a state of mind. It's just an emotional state. You'll be fine only if you believe it. You have to hold on and keep believing and keep moving forward and, should I say, swimming up. You have to keep going up. Look up. Don't look down. Do you understand? Okay, that's that. So I'm going to go and do a quick reading behind that. Okay. So I'm going to pull a 3-card spread, okay? If there's clarification needed. First card is the 5 of Swords. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. The Magician card. Number 1 in the Major Arcana. The Strength card. Manifesting strength. Running off the enemy. Running off your fears. Chasing your fears away. Woo-wee. Ten of Swords in reverse. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. Alright. We're going to go ahead and look up the Five of Swords. Okay, we're going to look up the King of Swords too. What that is. You got a lot of swords here. You got 3 cards with swords on them because the overall reading of this, the overall one of this reading is the King of Swords. Let me see. I think that's at the end of the reading. Ace of Swords. Two of Swords. Okay, Ace of Swords. Maybe the King of Swords. Here it is. Okay. Let's see, page 9. Okay, so the overall reading is the King of Swords in reverse, okay? Kind of looks big and strong, doesn't he? A powerful enemy is conquered. Control is broken. Authority is lost or threatened. Abusive behavior brings a downfall, danger, weakness, a lack of confidence in one's leadership. A ruler is overthrown. Disrespect for authority. Escape from oppression. Anger is left behind. Violence is thwarted. A negative individual who must be banished from one's life. An unfavorable court ruling. A person who carries significance, a person who the card signifies is troubled or seeks to cause trouble. Now, for me, this interpretation and this overall reading is that this is energy that you are coming out of because it is in reverse. Now, also notice that it says these could have been things that have happened to you in the past that have brought you to the energy you're in. And the positive things are the result of the negative things that have brought you this far. Okay. The Five of Swords is continuing to cause strife when others have given up the fight. An inferiority complex, an empty victory, rejection, feeling rejected, unfounded suspicion, paranoia, overly protective. Insecurity leads one feeling like everything is against them when in reality no one is paying attention. Harboring pain, anger, and negativity after a bad situation has passed. Struggle to fitting in. Feeling ostracized, unacceptable, self-harm. A struggle that should be abandoned. One's battle wounds after the fight is over. Shame. This is in the past position. Okay. So those are the things that you're coming out of, okay? You might have been manifesting these things for yourself and not realizing that, you're just in your head. When you're coming out of these situations, you're beginning to see that the battlefield was truly in your mind. You are loved. You are supported. Everything around you may look broken. Again, you may feel like you're drowning, but you're really not, okay? So let's go look for the Magician. Okay. Okay. The Magician represents spiritual energy being poured into the physical form. It encapsulates the notion of ability, utilized to its full potential. The idea of using one's resources and skills wisely and effectively. This is present energy. It is a herald of success to come, but only if one takes action to move out of this energy. You understand? From the past to the present. Okay? Seizing opportunities and making the most of what's available. Taking literally at its face value. The Magician can represent a person involved in magic or the occult. It can also symbolize the outward form of external rituals of the magical arts. and can signify a need to reconnect with one's higher purpose through magical practice, which would be me returning to my tarot, all right? Spiritual exploration and ritual. I also need to refresh my altar, okay? The magician represents the active side of the human personality, and on the highest level, it signifies the idea of carrying out one's truest divine purpose and will right here in the earthly realm. Right? Action, confidence, ability, ambition, putting one's resources and abilities to good use. The magical arts, a person who practices magic, an ambitious and confident individual, drawing strength from the realm of the spirit or other unseen forces. Opportunity is afoot and one seeks to seize it, applying one's spiritual or magical practice in everyday life. The will of the higher self. Okay. You can increase your own ambition and improve the leadership of your own life just by your thinking. By understanding that everything carries a vibration, including your own personal thoughts, you can change your view of things. You can change your environment. You can change the way people view you. You can change the way you view yourself if you just change the way you think and feel. You have control over the way you feel. You have control over the things you do. You must realize that. Okay? And that's where the future energy comes in. Strength. Okay? And this is 8. That's eternal love. 1 is the self. This was about yourself. 5 is changes. So you're going through spiritual changes, okay? All right? Mental changes, emotional changes, physical changes. Okay, now let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that's 13, 20. Okay, 13 and 20, 23. 5. So yes, definitely going through some spiritual changes or emotional changes, mental changes. You could be doing all in your whole life right now. It's about your head, your heart, and your heart right now. Okay? So I'm going to look for strength and just read the strength card. Okay? 2. These cards are beautiful, man. I mean, the artwork in this deck is just magical. Literally magical. Okay? Strength. Let me show you the card again. She is absolutely gorgeous. Just beautiful. This reading doesn't do the cards justice. They are absolutely beautiful. I can't. Can you see it a little bit better? I don't think you can. She's beautiful. Okay. You can see in the water, there's like a frog and a snake swimming side by side, okay? Symbolizing the taming of the beast within. Strength reminds us that neither the rules and religion of the Hierophant nor the heartstrings pulled by the lovers can match the power of self-mastery. While the chariot conquers with speed and power, flying swiftly away from danger, strength sticks around for the fight, overcoming her foes through patience and compassion. Even though this lion of a world has claws, we must love the beast and ride the beast just the same. Within each of us lies tremendous strength, an animal instinct, coupled with a higher consciousness. When these forces unite, we become unstoppable. The strength card urges us to feed our passions and face our fears, and use that strength to propel us. Toward achieving our grandest dreams and greatest desires. Okay? Peace and communication with the natural world. Strength, courage, taming a real metaphorical beast. Attempting to control something that can't be controlled. An animal. A friendly spirit offers help and protection. My cat passed recently, so I would take that to mean for me that my cat's protective energy is around me. I'm also a Leo. nurturing, healing, helping, and charity, resisting instinct, overcoming fear. Okay, grace, good health, spiritual, a strong spirit, optimism brings success. Oh, you guys, was this not a powerful reading? I wish that, when I got on camera, the things that I felt and wanted to say would come to pass from my mouth. When I'm looking at this, there's a snake right here shedding his skin. That's you. Okay? You see the light in the water. You see the water. The frog, the snake swim into the water. You're in your element and you don't even know it. Even though you think you can't make it, you did. In the situation where my daughter was swimming to the top, that's you pushing yourself to the top of this situation, taking a breath, not knowing that you had what it took. Your sheer word to survive propelled you to the top of this situation. So fight. Fight for your life. It is not time to sit down and sit back and accept defeat. You must fight to get what it is that you want in this life. You can't stop. You can't give up simply because you feel like you're going to die. Once you fight through that feeling that you're going to die and you survive, what a rush. What a boost of strength. What a beast-like nature you must carry inside of you. How fearless are you? You got this. Do you understand me? Okay, we got one more, which is the Ten of Swords in reverse. Okay. So we're going to go forward with that. And the Pentacles, Swords, okay. Page of Swords. King of Swords, we're going to go backwards. Five of Swords. Okay. Danger and disaster will be averted only if one exercise is caution is exercised and changes are made immediately. Outwitting one's foes to escape defeat, like playing dead. Guilt over one's own unsavory actions. Having an unethical or moral aversion. Narrowly escaping disaster. Risky behaviors must be curbed. Unsavory alliances must be broken. An attempt to seek revenge will bring disaster and should be abandoned. A temporary triumph in a situation that should be avoided altogether. There's your warning. That is your spiritual warning, okay? That is what you need to do immediately. That's the action that should be taken. Any negative behavior, any habits, any old ways of thinking, we must abandon in order to move forward in this future. For the betterment of mankind, for the betterment of ourselves, for the betterment of our community, we have to abandon this lascivious, horrible, murderous, slanderous, lying, stiff neck, if you will, generation. We have to come back to the beginning of who we truly are. Once you hit rock bottom, you have to go up. Once you go down in water, you sink like a rock when you don't fight. But when you swim, it's the pressure of the water pushing it underneath you, letting those things fall behind, letting those things fall away. As you swim, you use your past to propel you forward into your future. Forgive yourself and push through. Okay? Okay? I know that you guys are feeling, there are some people that are feeling utterly broken and defeated and feeling extreme sorrow, feeling like people have turned against you. Okay? You've been digging your own grave. You need to make major changes in order to avoid disaster. Do not hurt yourself on account of how someone else may feel about you. You have to understand that this is an individual fight. When my daughter jumped in that water, I wanted to jump in and save her, but I could not fit behind her through the hole she slipped through. I had even that 1 second that I could have taken to run around through the door that I had to pull open, which was a heavy glass door, to jump in the pool to save her, was at least 10 seconds, 5 seconds. By the time you wait for someone to come and save you, it may be too late. It is the fight that you must put forth. You have to defend your own self. You have to want to live. You have to want to fight. You have to find it somewhere within you, which is your natural instinct to live. Now, this is a 7-year-old. My baby is 7. She's a baby, and she swam back to the top because she wanted to breathe. She wanted to survive. She knew if she didn't swim back to the top, she would make it. But she knew that if she swam to the top, that's where the air was. And she knew in her mind that she needed that air. She needed good old oxygen. Okay? So you keep pushing, okay? I'm going to end it there. Okay? I ask that you like, subscribe, share, okay? I don't leave my comments open, but you can also find me on Instagram, Lady of Love and Light, or Lady of Love, Nicola Wade. You can find me on Facebook. Just friend me. A lot of my posts are public, so there's no need to friend me, actually. Lady of Love is also on, like I said, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not on Twitter. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Snapchat, things like that. Okay? But, all right, guys. Till we meet again here in the lighthouse. Bye.